Gentlemen, welcome to, is it the final regular season week, I think, or close to it? I think it is. I should know, right? It's embarrassing, I suppose, but the more important thing is that it's the rivalry week. Specifically for me, the mustache match. I am very grateful this season that I am not terrible and I have a formidable team. So even if I lose, which I'm not sure I will, but even if I lose, hopefully it's not by more than, 5 or 6 points, and I only have to shave for a week or so. But I think I'm going to win, which means Casey's going to be wearing that mustache for a few days at least. But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. I found a pretty interesting cocktail this week. That's real simple. I try to find something that's has a mustache feel to it, and something that would appeal to Casey. And so the cocktail I'm doing this week is called the Cowboy Shandy. Cowboys and the whole cowboy era was probably the height of mustache madness. At least some of the best looking mustaches in the world belong to cowboys and their kind. And it's a drink that's basically like a whiskey sour with beer. And if I know Casey, whiskey and beer are two fine things that he probably has lying around and enjoys to drink. So yeah, we'll get started. Right up here is the ingredients list. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. So we'll start with lemon juice. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. I'm actually going to squeeze it instead of just have it pre-squeezed, because why not? Oh, so close. That half was almost enough, but not quite. I do have a couple of questions from the fine folks who ask for questions. We will be using a shaker instead of stirring because of the fresh lemon juice. A lead-off triple for Houston. Well, there you go. All right. Next is 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. Again, I think I've said this before. You can get simple syrup or sugar syrup anywhere in any liquor store. I'm almost positive every liquor store will have it. But even easier, you just make it yourself. It's incredibly easy to make. It's basic. It's just sugar and water. I don't know if it's 2-to-1 water to sugar or 3-to-1 water to sugar. Maybe even 1-to-1. Maybe it depends on how syrupy and sugary you want it. But if you just look it up, you just boil water and sugar together until it becomes a syrup. It's for all the cocktails I've made with hard to find ingredients, things like simple syrup, anyone could have simple syrup as long as you got sugar and water and a stove. So anyway, 3/4 of an ounce of that simple syrup. And then it says 1 1/4 ounce of High West Campfire whiskey or blended Scotch whiskey. I'm using blended Scotch whiskey. You can use whatever whiskey you have, really. Bourbon, rye, Scotch, any of the above. Oh, Philly played the infield in, and I always think that's just a terrible idea because I don't know. Right there, the guy just rocketed a ball right past the infielder because he was too far in. It would have been at least an easy out otherwise. Anyway, I'm using Cuddy Sark, my blended Scotch that I use for mixing in drinks. But yeah, you can use any whiskey you want. And for 1 1/4 ounce, most jiggers will give you 1/2 ounce, 1 ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, and 1 1/2 ounce. So I'm just gonna do almost exactly 1 1/2 ounce, maybe just a hair less. Because what's wrong with a little extra whiskey, right? And then that is going to get shaken together and strained into a chilled, or not chilled, but a glass with ice. There you go. A pint glass filled with ice, and then it will be topped off with lager. It calls for lager, which I happen to have, even though it's Irish lager. I have lager in the house, but you could probably use, I don't know, Busch Lights or Michelob Ultra or Ice House. Whatever you got will probably be okay. So while I'm doing this, let's see if I can find where those questions were. Shall I? All right. So Brian wants to know, my loss to Casey last year spawned this new Liquor Out content. Might you say that you really won? I suppose he's referring to how the whole video answering questions, shaving my face last year kind of became this cocktail video thing. And it is nice to think back and think that maybe I truly did win. But then I think about all the shaving I did and how much I hate shaving and how raw my skin was. And I think, nope, I did not win. I lost. But that will not happen this year. Uh-oh. And then Nick wants to know, do I have any subscription services that I would recommend to the league? Like Bespoke Post, Stitch Fix, Blue Apron, etc. Well, Karen and I use... we don't use Blue Apron, but we use Sunbasket, which is like the hippie organic one, which is really convenient. I mean, I cook a lot of different meals throughout the week, but it's nice to have just like 3 solid dinners that I don't have to worry about every week, which we get from Sunbasket. And also like Karen every once in a while wants to cook a meal, just to like drink a glass of wine and unwind and cook something easy after work. So it's really convenient for that. And, come on. I'm gonna have to get a real bottle opener, aren't I? Nope. All right. And then, let me see. I don't do anything else. Karen does one with clothes and stuff. But I'm not really, I like to go shopping on my own. And then, it's funny he said Bespoke Post, though, because that is where I've got a lot of my bar stuff I get from that website, the Bespoke Post. I don't do their like monthly subscription, but they have a lot of interesting bar items. My drink smoker I got from there, which maybe you guys will see for a cocktail one of these weeks. I got an assortment of unique bitters from that website, the Honest John's bitters. I recommend that. It's a neat way to try some new bitters. All right. And it also says to garnish with a lemon peel, but I don't feel like cutting a lemon peel. Maybe I will. And then it says to like gently mix. I forgot to grab like a spoon or something, so I might just do this. Let it foam up a little bit. This looks interesting. You know, I've had like Radlers before in Germany, and this is kind of a Shandy Radler type thing, you know. It is called a Cowboy Shandy after all. It's not terrible. Yeah. Not my favorite cocktail, honestly. Just because, well, you know, it's not bad. It's just, if you're going to have a beer, have a beer. If you're going to have whiskey, have whiskey. I guess it's kind of like a Boilermaker. I don't know. The more I drink it, I like it. Anyway, there you go. The Cowboy Shandy. Hopefully I answered your questions okay. Like I said, subscription service-wise, I don't really do them, but some of those websites have interesting things that you don't need to subscribe to. So you can try that. All right, well, there you go, gentlemen. Here's to the mustache match. This is a drink that'll give you a mustache. I'm going to win. I'm quite confident in Max Duggan and the rest of my team. And I really don't want to have to shave, so yeah, here we go. Get drunk, stay drunk, or don't. And I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.